Hello and welcome to Goddess Resurrection. My name is Britta and I am your host. And today's episode is on clarity voice only. Please, I really wanted to add the please. Before we dive in, I want to say hello, my gorgeous sisters. How are you? I hope you are breathing and feeling, especially with this beautiful new moon in Cancer. It's really the invitation to feel through the old emotional energies and to also allow yourself to discover the new flavors, the new emotional experiences of the new earth, of the higher frequencies, right? And to really embed those into your knowing, your physical memory bank, your subconscious, right? Allowing yourself to work with these feel good, joy, loving life kind of emotional energies to manifest yourself and your life and your highest timeline and your future and your new earth, from this beautiful place of your inner connection. So enjoy, and really allow yourself to feel, using the breath to assist the feeling. And of course, Cancer new moon is always a new beginning in something emotional, whether it is be the love for yourself, whether it is the love for another, whether it is the refreshing energy for a new project that you might love and get excited about. But really enjoy and embrace the newness, not only of this moon, but also of these vibrations that are coming in so crazy high, so strong. It's amazing. It's really a fantastic time to be here on Earth. Yes, we're seeing a lot of challenges. Yes, we're seeing a lot of crazy stuff happening at the same time, but that's part of this ascension process, right? We have to see what it is that we don't want anymore so we can focus on and manifest what we do want instead. Now let's dive in. Clarity voice only. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by clarity voice only? What I really mean by that is to understand and to really watch yourself, that it is going to become more and more and more important for you to speak from clarity, for you to speak from authority, for you to speak from this inner place of sureness, right? Because when you are in your clarity, when you are in your authority, when you are sure about what you're wanting to express or share, it'll come over, it'll land, it'll be received in a very positive way, right? Because you are clear and calm and speaking truth that can be very strong. You might even be needing to communicate a very strong choice, but that does not need strong, heightened emotion and raising of the voice, right? It doesn't require the old tantrums. It doesn't require the old drama any longer. Now that we are really in these heightened frequencies, it's becoming more and more and more important to really practice how you communicate, how you show up in conversations, from a much clearer place. And so what's dropping in right now is that to address that, yes, you have to, of course, stay mindful and also aware of where people are at, right? Because the emotions are heightened. People are fearful, people are crazed, people are upset for so many different reasons, whether it is something personal or whether it is the events of the world. People are feeling their emotions. People are in their emotions so much. And so when you are getting into a conversation, when you are, about speaking something of your truth, of your vision, of your boundaries, of whatever it is that you feel you want to express, not only make sure that it's coming from clarity, but also make sure that you do not engage and drop down and lower your vibration to meet people in their stuff, in their emotional turmoil, in their mood, in whatever it is that they're in, and they're going to test you, right? People are going to try to engage you, right, into the ego stuff, into the drama stuff. People will do that subconsciously. And so be sure you pay attention not to go there. There are no winners ever in these kinds of exchanges. You are never going to change somebody else's mind if they're in a heightened emotional state. And remember why? Let me remind you. Remember that when we are in density, we cannot see a solution. When we are in density, we cannot hear truth. We cannot hear clearly. And this really brings me to the main point of today's podcast. Clarity voice only, when we think about what actually takes away clarity, what confuses clarity, what delivers with lack of clarity. Heightened emotion, emotional flooding, trigger, activation, ego, all that old paradigm stuff, right? So yes, it's emotional energy that skews our voice. It's emotional energy that gets in the way of us, being able to communicate from a place of clarity, and really from that beautiful inner connection, right? Because heightened emotion generally takes us out of our center. And so this is important for so many reasons, right? It's so layered. So go ahead and start breathing and stay in the breath and connect to the breath. And remember that this new earth experience and manifestation process is all about vibration, right? It's all about you coming from your center, from your soul connection, and being in tune with yourself from this place. What does it feel like? And what is it that you're wanting to maintain? Right? Remember, nothing is worth your peace. Nothing is worth your light ever, ever. And so speaking, as you surely know, there is such a thing that we refer to as spelling, right? Words manifest. They're spells. We speak spells. We speak things into creation. And that is becoming more and more and more so the case, because as these vibrations are so high, we're now really needing to relearn and repattern in so many ways and on so many levels. And how we speak, it's not just the words we use, but really, truly, let's come from the deeper place of what vibration are we operating from? What vibration are we speaking from? Because that's really what matters. The words are secondary. Surely you never have control over how somebody will receive your communication. You don't. We don't. Nobody has control over. We can try our best to pick a good moment. We can try our best to speak from compassion. We can try our best to really, tread lightly on challenging communication. However, in the end, for you to put yourself first, and for you to stay connected to your feminine energy so that you can stay in your connection, so that you can stay in your light alignment, and to speak from this place, no matter the boundary you want to communicate, no matter the issue, no matter the request, whatever it is, from this inner connection of yourself, you will always, always, always manifest the highest potential, the highest outcome, the highest possibility, the highest timeline possibility for yourself and for everybody involved. Because if you're really speaking from your authenticity, if you're really speaking from your inner guidance and truth and knowing, then that is always going to also benefit everybody else positively. They might not know it, they might not like it, but it will, right? This is when we really want to learn to trust the vibration. This is when we really want to learn to trust the light. Your light. Trust yourself, trust your light, trust your deep guidance and wisdom, right? And again, coming from the feeling center of feeling your way forward. But let me dive into this a little bit more, because remember that emotions and feeling guidance is a separate issue. They're totally separate things. Emotions are masculine energy conditioning because of old wounding, old trauma, old experiences that weren't positive. Whereas feeling guidance is the guttural, the deeper, the sensory, the knowing, the feeling, right? It's you trusting your gut. It's you trusting your intuition. It's you feeling your intuition. And also remember that when the emotions are heightened and you were triggered and you were activated, you have most likely a very hard time feeling this intuition, this guidance, right? Because you can't access it, because emotional flooding will always cover it up. Remember, emotional flooding gets in the way of your clarity voice. And so therefore, we have to come back to the basics of you have to process your emotions first. And so I want to give you an example here. I am a slow processor when it comes to intimate relationships, especially with my partner, with clients, with life, with friends. It's a very different story, right? Because it doesn't trigger me. But when it comes to my private life, when it comes to intimacy, my original wounding was of abandonment. And so that, of course, has a lot of other veins, right? Such as not feeling good enough, right? Not lovable enough, not worthy enough. And so when I do get triggered with my partner, and I experience a emotional reaction, I need time and space. I need time and space to find clarity, because as you know, the brain, the ego is going to want to immediately jump to the stories, right? And to pull back from the past, the old stories that fit our wounding, that fit our trauma, right? That fit our stories, projecting the stories right into the present, right into the moment. And so I'm sharing this because I want to encourage you to take the space and the time that you need. Conversations, unless it is an urgent matter, from here on out should only be taking place when you have come back into complete clarity, right? And so this is what I still do. Not always, but if it's really something where I'm in a very vulnerable place, or, or the moons or the vibrations, whatever it may be, that is really hitting hard and hitting me to deeper levels that I'm wanting to purge, yes, I need space and time. And I give myself that space and time, and I witness the old stories, right? The old ways of the ego wanting to blame and shame the other or myself, right? Wanting to recreate this old energetic experience that really wasn't ever even the truth. And so witnessing the stories, but not letting them become the truth, right? So focusing back onto the breath, staying away from the stories, from the thinking, from any and all of the thought patterns that will try to jump in, and really staying with the processing of the emotions, staying with the processing of what you are feeling, what I am feeling, what we are feeling, what is the emotional experience, and to let that be whatever it is. Let that take however long it takes. This is not a race. And keep reminding yourself of that in this moment of emotional overwhelm, of when we're emotionally flooded, of when the emotions are still wanting to jump to false conclusions, bring up the old stories, or have the knee-jerk reaction of fight or flight or freeze. And you know yourself, you know exactly what it is that you generally go to. In these moments of emotional flooding, no good thought will come of it. So don't try to find solution in this moment. Don't try to force clarity in this moment. You will not get it. Nothing good will come from not feeling good. And also in this moment, when you're emotionally flooded, don't even try to find your light. Don't. It's okay. It's okay. It's much more effective for you to accept the fact that you are emotionally flooded, and to accept the fact that, yes, this is opportunity for you to now purge more. This is healing opportunity. This is opportunity to go deeper, right? And so to not think, to not speak, to not act from this place, but really, really do as best as you can to find yourself time and space to breathe and feel, breathe and feel, breathe and feel. Don't think, don't speak, don't act. Don't try to find a solution. Don't come up with a game plan. Don't even try to find your light. Just focus. Focus on this golden opportunity to heal more deeply, to heal more fully, because that's what this is all about. Remember, you cannot jump to ascension. You cannot jump to light embodiment. You cannot avoid triggers. You cannot bypass your wounding or your trauma. It will be there. It will continue to get triggered. It will continue to trip us up until we've purged and healed and cleared through it. And that's just the way it is. And so therefore, let's not resist. Resistance is only going to make it stay longer and dig in deeper, right? Because when we're resisting it, we're not wanting to deal with it. We're now going into thinking. We're now going into yelling or screaming or crying and throwing a hissy fit. And by the way, crying is okay as long as you're doing it for yourself, right? Not to get attention or not to get pity or not to bring your point across, right? That's called a temper tantrum. So emotions are information. And remember, your feeling guidance is guidance. Emotions aren't guidance. Emotions are information. And generally, if you are being triggered, generally, not always, but generally, if you're being triggered, there's also a reason why. There's a reason why you're feeling these emotions. There's a reason why you're feeling that flooding. There's a reason, right? So something reminded you of something that was dangerous in the past. Something reminded you of, no, this isn't right. Something reminded you of, oh, no, let's not do that again. Something reminded you of, oh, this could have a bad outcome, right? Whatever it may be. The trigger is because there is an old memory that got reawakened in this moment. And so this information, you will get to this information if there is something that you need to address, which generally there is, because something bothered you, right? Something was bothering you, something hit a nerve, triggered this old memory, this old wounding. And so this information will be there for you. It will be there, but you have to take one step at a time. Staying with the emotional processing, which will help heal the wounding, which will help heal and clear the trigger more and more and more deeply with every time you remember to do this for yourself. Will, of course, then bring you back into clarity, right? So if you need a day or 2 days or 2 nights, just to let your loved ones know, I need a little time and space, and just to be with it, stay with it, breathe and feel, breathe and feel, breathe and feel, and then trusting yourself, trusting your soul, trusting your subconscious, you will come to the conclusion that's necessary in order for you to now evaluate the emotion. What is the information of the emotion? And I'm saying generally, because sometimes we can also be in illusion, right? Because sometimes we can be so heightened that we have blind spots. Sometimes we can be in such heightened state because it's still such a deep wounding, because it's still such a deep trauma or trigger, that we subconsciously project it into the moment, onto the person, and it's really not even the reality of what actually happened. So yes, there is a chance that the reality was distorted by your wounding, by your memory. There is a chance that the ego wanted to sabotage and throw in resistance and distort the truth. You have to stay also aware of that in order for you to truly get to your clarity, in order for you to really hold your goal of it being clarity for yourself. And this is why you do the work with yourself and for yourself. Don't immediately, jump, like I've said, to the conversation or to the blame or the shame. This is information for yourself. But generally, let's go from that it wasn't distorted. Let's go from that the reality wasn't projected from this old deep wounding, but that in truth there was something that was wrong, that was off, that bothered you, that wasn't correct, that wasn't in alignment with your standards, your values, your expectations, your boundaries, your agreements, right? So let's say there was something within this emotional reaction that was really very important for you to now catch. So coming back to the breath, coming back to this processing, coming back to breathe, feel, don't think. Stay with it for as long as you need to. And eventually, as you're trusting yourself, as you're trusting your soul, as you're trusting your higher self, as you're trusting your subconscious, you can even ask into yourself. You can even ask into your subconscious, what am I meant to know from this experience? What was it really that was bothering me? Help me find the clarity. Give me this answer, please, subconscious or a higher self. What was it? Or body, you can speak to your body too. What was it that really triggered me? What was it that was off for me? What was it that was incongruent with what had been established? And you keep breathing. And you keep listening, and you keep staying patient, and you keep staying in your feminine energy, and this information will come. You will know, you'll be like, oh, right, yes, okay. Now I can see it more clearly, right? Now you'll be able to recognize the information and the emotion, and you'll be able to go, yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. That really still was very immature behavior. And that bothered me, or that made me feel uncomfortable, or that triggered me into old memory, right? So again, there is always going to be information in your emotion, but you will not be able to get to it when it's flooding you, when you're in the activation of the trigger. And in order for you to then truly manifest what it is that you want, for you to truly come from this place of your goddess, so that you will be heard, so that you will feel graceful, so that you will respect yourself and you will receive the respect and response, so that you can really deliver this which is important to you from clarity, from a calm voice, from your feminine energy, but from an authority, from your strength. Remember, when you're in your feminine energy, she's never weak. That's a misconception. Your feminine energy is all the power, all the authority of your light. So yes, you can speak very strongly and very clearly and very succinctly, yet come from a very calm and peaceful place, because you're now in your truth. You're now in your authenticity. You're now in your clarity of you've done the work, right? That in and of itself is empowering. You've processed emotion. You've given yourself that time, that respect, that love. And then you've not acted from it. You've not gone into drama, but you've taken responsibility, which is even more strengthening, even more empowering. And then from here, you've now waited and you've communicated with yourself to receive the guidance as to what was really off, what was really bothering me, what was really truly at the core of this message, because you want to keep it simple, right? Clarity is always simplicity. Boil it down, boil it down, boil it down to what was it? Okay, yes, in essence, boiled down, it was this. It was this experience that then can be addressed, that then can be communicated in terms of setting a boundary for yourself or the person, or working together on finding a better way, something where there can be a compromise on what works for both, right? Or simply addressing that this way really doesn't work for me, or this way really, hurt my feelings or it made me feel unsafe, right? Coming from your authenticity, never hiding your true emotions, because now you're in a place of clarity. So you can address what it is that you felt from a place of clarity, which makes it very strong. And again, very authentic, versus when you're in the midst of the emotional flooding and then you express it and then it's a dumping, right? And that dumping is never going to land well. That dumping is never going to be received well. That dumping is never going to really deliver to you what it is that you want to accomplish in the long run, right? So feminine energy is always the long game. Feminine energy is always the long run. Feminine energy is always going to be you putting yourself first. Feminine energy is always going to help you breathe and feel, not react from it. Don't think, speak, act, right? Don't try to find solution. Don't try to find your light in that moment. Just know it's there. Just know it's there, and also know that the feeling and the processing is not going to kill you. It might be a bit uncomfortable, but it's not going to kill you. And that's really important to remember in that moment, that it's okay and it's part of the process. And then once you have gathered the information of the emotion, of the experience, then you are ready. Then you are ready to really speak from your goddess, to really speak from this graceful, clear, strong space. And this is also when you're now able to really hold that vibration, hold the vibration of your self-love, your self-respect, your boundaries, your standards, your values. Right? Because that's a vibration. People can talk about their values and their standards, but they're not really coming from it or acting from it or being it. It holds no value. Right? We have to hold ourselves to higher standards. As the goddess, as the feminine energy, which is the energy that is always the leading energy. Remember, your feminine energy is the leading energy. It holds the authority of your soul, of your light. So from this place, speaking from the highest vibration possible, this is what will manifest the greatest outcome, always, for all involved, to the highest and greatest good of all involved. So to find your clarity first, to know, to speak from your clarity only, trusting that it'll hold the highest vibration, trusting that it'll be manifesting the highest outcome for yourself, is always the most important practice moving forward, especially now that the frequencies are so high, because lower densities and lower density vibrational communications or expressions or intentions are not going to be supported anymore moving forward. It's going to become super apparent and super important for you to shift, and to get jiggy with it. Good. So from here, I hope that this was clear and succinct and helpful for you to really make your clarity voice the foundation, the requirement for any communication moving forward. Now, I just want to come back to the small little what if it was a blind spot? What if your ego is projecting? What if your ego was distorting reality? What if you got caught in so much ego illusion that you imagined something and it wasn't even the case? This is definitely an indication for that there is deeper, deeper, deeper healing necessary. And this is also when this formula again will be helpful to you, right? Because you don't want to put yourself into a situation where you're operating from distortion or you're projecting distortion onto another, right? Because it'll really lower your credibility, right? It'll really affect how people respect you or how much they trust you, right? In your feeling ability, in your intuition, and your guidance. And this has always been the problem. This has always been the issue for this entire time, right? For millennia, that women in their power, when they're feeling, right, we're knowing our feeling center so strongly, so well. So for us to be in our guidance, for us to be in our wisdom, we are meant to be the leading force. We are meant to be the guiding vibration. But it's this old wounding and this old distortion and this old drama and this old way of acting it out and dumping it onto people that had also, of course, not just this lifetime, but through most other lifetimes, the effect of exactly the opposite. Oh, she's so sensitive. Oh, she's too emotional. Oh, it must be that time of the month. Oh, yeah, I can't take that serious right now. Oh, okay, well, let's leave the room maybe, right? So we as women, we as goddesses, we hold responsibility now to stay in clarity, to stay connected in feminine energy, to stay in our authenticity to the deepest depth possible. And so if you are ever unsure of the clarity level, come back to this formula. Take time and space to yourself. Don't launch the communication. Don't dump. Don't do it. Stay with yourself. You can deal with it all later. It won't go away. But you have to find your clarity first. You have to find your authenticity first. Don't do anything for attention. Don't do anything from knee-jerk reaction. Don't do anything. No thinking, no speaking, no acting from possibly distorted or old patterning. Take responsibility. Hold yourself that sacred. Hold yourself that worshiping, revering, sacred space to be, right? Because that's what you are now growing into that leadership, right? Into the goddess role, that you are in your clarity and that you are coming from deep wisdom and deep guidance. So when in doubt, pause. When in doubt, breathe and feel. Don't think. When in doubt, take time. It's okay. It's okay to process. It's okay to take time. Take the time you need. Take all the time that you need. Do not let anybody or anything rush you ever. And really, really, really stay committed to you are sacred. And you're now learning and remembering how to work with your feminine energy and how to really be and live and speak from your goddess, from your clarity. And that'll slowly but surely manifest all the greatness, all the grace, all the beauty, all the glory, all the authentic empowerment, all the joy, all the clarity that you are ready for, that you are ready to receive, because you are now making it important. And so by making it important, you are becoming that, and then it'll show up in your reality. Good. So from here, please do share, like, subscribe, as I am grateful for you, for your light, for your energy, for your time, your presence here on this platform. I am sending love and light blessings to you and yours. Hugs and kisses. Ciao for now.